guys, it's Salsa and Chloe here from Brisbane. We're the school owners of Paradizo. Jay has asked us to make a short video about our concerns regarding the coronavirus situation. Basically for us, we have a school that has been operating for a little bit over 5 years, but we've just moved into this studio one and a bit years ago. Obviously there's a lot of financial stress for everybody.
Now, Carlos and Chloe are one of the most popular bachata couples in the world. They're internationally in demand. They fly all around the world doing festivals, doing events, and they have a very successful school in Brisbane as well. And I was with them when they made the decision to open this studio, and I know how much of a step this was, how much of a milestone this was for them in their careers to take this risk to open up the studio.
Regarding owning a dance studio, we spent about $140,000 to renovate this place, and all the upkeep and the rent is kind of ridiculous, but that's our dream.
Now, a lot of people don't realize what goes into opening a dance studio. You have to pay for a lot of things, especially depending on what the venue is like when you take on the lease. For instance, some studios have to fit it out with proper dance floors. They have to paint the walls. Sometimes they have to install walls if they need extra space or to segment the building. They have to install air conditioning, speaker systems, mirrors. They have to do, in some cases, they have to put extra safety entrances and exits. They have to do the fit out of the place. So whether it's painting it a different color scheme, all of the design stuff of it as well. And their studio is beautiful, beautiful studio.
We're having a place and a home for our students and to really grow a community. So for us, it's really devastating because Paradiso for us and the Latin dance community is about...
Now, this is a really, really important point. Guys, a dance school and a dance community, some of you would already know this, but for those of you who don't, it does become a community, it becomes a second family, a second home. And so having a studio, a place, a central place where students can go to every time and they become familiar with it, they become comfortable with it, it becomes a place where they can go and be themselves and get away from things as well. This is really, really crucial. So this is absolutely devastating, especially given the financial risk that these guys took.
Spending time together is about making friendships, hanging out. Dance, of course, is the thing that brings us all together, but it's really, really hard for us to be at such a big distance with everybody. We're obviously really scared about transitioning to online classes completely because for us it's an unknown territory.
Now, this is really, really important point as well. Now, Chloe mentioned, and this is a very, very familiar language that a lot of teachers will repeat the exact same thing, that dance is just the vehicle or the environment in which the really important stuff happens, which is the human connection between people. Now, that can be in the form of physical contact when you're dancing with someone, but it's also in the form of actually just physically being in each other's presence, laughing with each other, having fun, joking around, sometimes going through some dramas, and just being together in a physical space is a huge, huge element of dance classes.
And we're not IT professionals.
Yeah.
So for us, Carlos has been spending hours and hours researching, and we've been buying gear, trying to figure out what is the best option for us to keep doing what we're doing. Obviously keep making a little bit of income to keep this business afloat, but obviously we're scared that...
Now also, there's another point, guys. For a lot of dance teachers, they've spent their time, their energy on learning their craft and refining their craft as dancers and as teachers. They haven't spent time usually on things like learning how to film, learning how to create online classes. So this is a really, really steep learning curve that a lot of them have had to undergo. It's something that they've had to learn on the fly. And there's actually, the reality of it is, sometimes there is a significant financial outlay just to purchase the equipment, just to get the resources in place to produce something like this.
With the 6 months lockdown or months restrictions, we're not going to be able to have this going, basically.
Yeah, guys, look, it's important to note that the 6 month lockdown, imagine if it's 6 month lockdown, right? And after 6 months, the government says, okay, some businesses can go back to normal. Dance is one of actually the first industries, well, Latin dance in particular is one of the first industries which had to shut down early. And kind of in reverse, it's one of the last businesses that can actually go back to fully being operational. Obviously, the reason is when you're dancing, you're in close physical contact with each other. And depending on how popular the class is, we could be talking about 100 people in a room, all touching each other, rotating partners, everyone dancing together, everyone sharing the same air, physically touching each other. So dance is probably one of the first businesses to go and one of the last businesses to come back to normal.
Yeah, guys, to be honest, the situation in our side is really bad. As you know, dancing is our main source of income, not only because of the school, but we also have our international career as an artist that has been postponed until 2021. All our countries in Europe and Asia has been cancelled. So,
now, guys, this is one of the sort of the silent victims of huge events being cancelled. Of course, the event organizers take a huge financial hit. The venues that are booked for these events, they take a big financial hit as well. The patrons, the people who have bought tickets, hopefully they get some of their refunds back. Hopefully maybe it's credited to future events. But one of the hidden victims of this lockdown and these cancellation of the events are the artists who are booked to go to these events. Okay, so you have to remember these guys, this is a significant part of their livelihood. They are booked and flown to events to teach internationally and to perform internationally as well. And when all of those get cancelled, you could be talking about 50% of an artist's income being gone straight away, straight off the bat, with no possibility of recouping that until events are allowed to go again. And remember, again, dance industry is one of the first industries to go and one of the last ones to come back. So it could be a long time before traveling artists are able to make a living doing that again.
Another source of income that we lost this year. So everything is hitting us really like back to back. Every day is something cancels. Every day happens. So
And also the European tour.
yeah, we used to take 40 people to Europe with us to have an amazing time, and this year it's not gonna happen either because
Of the travel bans.
and
Oh man, I feel the pain of that personally. I know these guys have the Croatia tour, which they've been running for the last 3 years. It is a big part of their business and a big part of their livelihood as well. Here at the Salsa Foundation, we've done a couple of international tours as well, and we actually had 3 international trips booked this year, all of them gone. So we had China in March. Of course, that one was the first one to go. We had our Europe trip, which was supposed to be Spain, Croatia, Italy. That was supposed to be in June, and that is gone. And then also our Baila Bali annual tour, which was going to be in October, that's also gone as well. So I definitely feel these guys here. And you know what? It's really difficult to get any kind of financial relief from the places that you've paid deposits to, hotels, flights, and all this kind of stuff. Sometimes you're at the mercy of the airline itself as to whether they will refund you. Sometimes you're at the mercy of your insurance company, and guys, in an event like this, insurance companies, they don't like to pay out. So sometimes it's very difficult to get any type of relief back.
the situation is that we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know for how long. So we're gonna be in this situation of like online classes, streaming classes. We don't really are experts on it, and we also feel that no way that can compare to at least the energy that we have in person when we have you in front of us. The energy that we put into it. I don't know if that a camera can capture, that kind of feeling. So,
guys, this is 100% true. A lot of the magic in the class, it comes down to the entertainment and the charisma of the instructor and their ability to engage directly with the student. When you're teaching online, it's a completely different thing. You can give all the facts, you can give all the techniques, all the breakdown, all the instruction, but it's very, very difficult to have that same connection with your students when you're talking into camera versus when you're standing in front of a crowd bouncing energy off them. Guys, it's a completely different ball game. And a lot of the value that a couple like Carlos and Chloe bring are their unique personalities. I mean, all instructors have a unique personality, but I've seen these guys work a room, and it's magic to behold. And definitely online classes, as much as it is a great utility, it definitely doesn't have the same impact as that personal being in each other's space, in each other's presence. So definitely.
We're a bit scared of doing online classes. Of course, we are going to transition if we have to. But yeah, the worst thing here, guys, for me is that Australia is still operating, but under minimum circumstances. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, people can still go out, people can still go to the gym, people can still go to the shopping center, but then when it comes to dance classes, people is really, really scared because of course it is physical contact.
Guys, since this video was made, there's been a full lockdown, so all businesses have been shut down. So we wanted to really highlight what's going on in the dance industry, but we understand all industries are going through this at the moment. I mean, there's a rare few industries which are surviving okay, and there's some which are even benefiting from this lockdown, but vast majority of businesses have definitely been hurt. And as I mentioned before, dance is one of the first ones that got hit, and it's probably going to be one of the last ones to come back.
You know, so I think our industry is being really, really affected, and the worst thing is that we don't know when it's gonna restart or start again, or if it's gonna be a slow transition.
Yeah, when is the right time? You know, if people are going to get angry if we start or whatever it is. And obviously it is partner dancing, and as much shines and everything that we can do, it's that bond together and the energy that you give to one another that makes Latin dancing what it is. So for us, it's really scary because we can't really complete that puzzle.
So
and
guys,
it's really stressful.
Yeah, yes, I just want to send a message to you guys. If you have a safe job, if you are not concerned about your job and your financials, please think about your dance school, okay? Because all the schools are going through a tough situation right now, especially.
Guys, this is a really, really important point. We understand as dance professionals and dance school owners, we understand that dancing is a optional expense for people. People opt into this extracurricular activity from your normal lifestyle. And oftentimes when there is a financial crunch, when people lose jobs, when people get reduced income, when their expenses go up, or in cases of emergency like this, you want to have this safety buffer. And that means that your financial decisions are going to change as well. And oftentimes one of the first things to go are things like dance classes. What I think Carlos is referring to here as well, though, guys, is understanding that with your support, it may be that your dance school won't make it through without that support. So support of its community members, of its student base, is a really, really important thing in order to be able to survive.
Once that this is the only source of income. So think about all the good moments and memories that school gives to you, and if you cannot stop your membership, or if you can support them somehow, they will really, really appreciate it, especially in this situation that is out of our control, and we're trying our best to move on. Okay, so guys, have that in consideration. Think about all what the instructors and directors have given you through all these years of dancing, and hope this situation finishes soon, so we all can be where we want to be, which is in classes and dance floor. Okay, guys, stay safe, please, and hope to see you soon.
Bye.
So yes, guys, these guys, Carlos and Chloe in particular, are a very inspirational couple in our dance community, and a lot of people aspire to them and have been motivated by them to dance in the first place, to keep dancing, to be a part of their community. And these guys are really, really valuable asset to the dance community. I know it's cliche, and a lot of people have been saying, you know, we'll get it through this together. But guys, look, the dance community, it actually literally needs to be together in order to get through this. The dance school owners, the teachers, the event organizers, a lot of those people were among the first to have their income cut from here to zero. And you know, for a lot of them, if they weren't prepared ahead of time for an event like this, they're scrambling. Yes, they're trying to adjust, they're trying to evolve, they're trying to survive. But for a lot of them, they won't make it through as an organization without the support of the people who it's supported throughout the years as well. So guys, that's the message here. We're going to be talking through the issue with a couple of other school owners, a couple of people in the industry who I admire, and people who I've worked with in the past, people who I've had in-depth conversations with, and people who I know have a very insightful perspective on what's happening with the dance industry at the moment. So guys, check out those videos, and remember guys, if you are in a position to support your dance school, please do so. They will be back with your help. They'll be back better than ever. Okay, don't give up on them. Stay safe guys, and we will get through this together. See you on the other side.